On the weekend, I attended the PPG Regional Qualifier, and it was my first big remote duel tournament in 2021. It was a very interesting experience, and I want to kind of talk about how I feel about the remote dueling tournament scene as a whole. You know, what I like about it, what is kind of unfortunate about it, and everything in between. So hopefully enjoy the video, hopefully enjoy me rambling about this, and let's get into it. Oh, first of all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and turn the notification bell into smashed potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos are uploaded. But I guess this one really isn't a Digimon video, per se. It's kind of just a general card game over webcam video. First of all, a big shout-outs to ProPlay Games for having their regional qualifier. I think they ran it quite smoothly. I didn't really experience any issues. Everything was well done, and people were, checking on people when they were in time. All the rounds were reasonably within an hour, and honestly, kudos to them, because it takes a lot of work to arrange a tournament of that style, and they did well, so that's great. This does lead me to the pros of the whole remote duel tournament application that we're in right now because of COVID. You can do it, and it does give you an outlet to play card games, and it lets you play big tournaments now too. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of big tournaments, and ProPlay Games just had a really big one for Digimon, and Magic is doing it too, I think, and some Pokemon stuff is happening, I'm pretty sure. For someone who just wants to sit down and have a card game and not worry about anything else, this is the perfect situation for them, because they can literally sit at home in their pajamas and play card games if they really want to. What's wrong with that? Another big pro is that you're not spending money on gas, on hotels, planes, food, any of that. You're not spending money on attractions should you wish to go somewhere and do something fun. Nothing like that. You are just staying at home. There's no danger, there's no risk of a car accident or a plane crash, God forbid, or anything like that. It's just safe, right? It's the most safest way to play a tournament. And of course, not being, peer pressured or having the ability to spend more money than you need to is a good thing, because card games are already expensive enough. And the last thing you need to do is go to somewhere like Niagara Falls for a tournament, not go to the tournament, spend like $300 in Niagara Falls or more, and call it a day. Yeah. That happened. And one final application, which I think is a little discounted by everyone else, is the ability to meet people all around the world. What do I mean by this? Well, round one at the PPG, I met someone from Gordo Games. Lewis, I believe his name is. You should check out his Twitch and his YouTube. Great guy, great player. He beat me round one, so that's gotta say something, right? But we were just getting along so well. It helped that he watched my YouTube videos, so he knew who I was, and that kind of made things cooler in a sense. But, he invited me into his community, so I would go into his Discord in between rounds and talk with him and his friends while we were just waiting for the next round to go up and just talking about our matchups and other, shooting the poop, stuff like that. And to be real, if it wasn't for the PPG that allowed worldwide entry, would I have ever met these people? Probably not, to be real. Unless I randomly, flew to the United Kingdom. Probably wasn't going to happen anytime soon. So it does let you meet up with people that you normally probably wouldn't meet up with otherwise, and that's actually really cool. Now, all good things must come to an end, and we must talk about the couple of cons. One is a really, minimal one, and one of them is kind of a bigger one. In my opinion, the smaller con is the ability of cheating. In remote duels, that's kind of been pushed to the side because people are making you take a bigger view of your table, so you can't really move your hands away from the camera, pull something back up, that sort of thing. They're implementing measures to make sure it doesn't happen, so that's why I'm calling it a smaller con, because it was big at one point, and now it's not bigger anymore because people are really enforcing that. So that's good, but it can happen if it's not being enforced, just something you need to be careful for. And now the final con, which for me is kind of the nail on the coffin type of situation. It's the fact that you cannot travel and you cannot actually go anywhere to do these. Don't get me wrong, I am all for being lazy and playing card games, from my house, or now here, because I have a remote duel set up. Haha! Fun comments aside, it's not the same as going to a place and playing in a tournament with people in front of you and socializing with people all around you throughout the entire tournament. You know, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively, and I stopped around 5-6 years ago when Necroz's format died. Like, conveniently, that was the time when I stopped. I loved being able to go in my car with my ex-girlfriend at the time, a couple friends, and we honestly just had a great time. We talked with each other, car ride there, car ride back. We'd socialize with a lot of people that, you know, we don't really meet, and other friends that we've met and just, you know, had a good time with all throughout the tournament. And sometimes you'd hang out at the tournament, sometimes you'd even spend the night or a couple nights if it was far away in a bigger tournament. And it was just a nice social experience, and you got to do things that you normally wouldn't do. You know, for example, I'm in a little town called Belleville, right? And, you know, you can't do much in Belleville, but you can go to a city like Toronto, you can eat at places you've never eaten before. It's great. You can talk with people and socialize and hang out, doing things you normally wouldn't do in a bigger city, which is fun. There's different attractions, there's different things to do, and there's something about having overnight tournaments where you just spend the night with a bunch of friends and you honestly do things that are really, really fun. No homo, by the way. No homo. Well, maybe some of you there's homo, but for me, no homo. This was actually magnified when Ruggles got back into the game and he started his YouTube channel, and he convinced me to start a YouTube channel, and we were growing YouTube channels. Like, he was growing really big and I was a little small, you know, a little small boy. But, you know, we were meeting a lot of people who watched us in our videos, and it was a really surreal experience having all the fans coming out and socializing with us all throughout regionals, in between rounds, before or after. Actually a really immersive experience, really cool. And there was that level of that before I was, you know, having a YouTube channel, back when I played competitively years ago, but it wasn't anything like it is now. It's actually insane. There was even a time where I drove people to regionals because I was still involved in the community before Mario's Gaming World, and I wasn't playing the game, but I wanted to drive to the tournaments anyway, so I would drop them off and I would just go spend the day on the town. Or most of the day on the town after I finish socializing people. And it's really fun. Yeah, you spend a lot of money that way sometimes. It adds up, for sure. But for me, it's all about going somewhere, having a different experience, and having a fun time doing it. Something that can't happen with remote duels. Now, I know I'm not the only person that feels this way, because I put a poll out there on my YouTube channel asking how people felt about remote duels. And it's clear that people are doing it kind of because they have to do it. And for some of them, yeah, it's great. But for a lot of people, it's not the best situation to be in. And that completely makes sense. You know, we're forced into this part of the world where we can't just play in person. I know that we're in lockdown here in Ontario. We can't do anything. So if we want to play card games, we literally have to turn on our computers, turn on our webcams, open up Discord, have a call, and play over webcam. It's literally the only way to do it right now. And some people aren't thrilled about it. Some people are also just choosing not to do it because they can't spend the money on the setup, which is respectable. I just finished my setup. It's a very expensive setup, but I kind of hear what you mean. You know, even the basics for someone working maybe minimum wage or less hours, even that because of COVID, it's hard, and I honestly get that. So now it's time where I ask the audience, you guys, how do you really feel about remote duels? Leave it in the comments, because I really love seeing this kind of stuff. And without having tournaments in person, you know, I like to think of the people that watch my videos as a little community that are growing together. And I can't socialize with any of you at real tournaments right now, because there aren't any real tournaments right now. The only way I can socialize and get to know everyone is through the comments section and through private messages and, you know, whatever. So leave a comment. Let me know. Do you like remote duels? Do you hate remote duels? Are you in between? What's your deal? And why? Let me know in the comments. I love reading it. I love answering it. It makes me feel like I can get to know each and every one of you. I think that's done. Just a short little discussion, nothing crazy. And we'll go back to your regularly scheduled Digimon video tomorrow. See you guys later. Take care.